Hello, everybody, and welcome to your local 32. Yes, that show where we look at 32 counties of Ireland, two counties at a time. This is our fourth edition, and today we're going to be looking at Cork and Donegal. And I'm joined by fantastic Rebecca Cappuccini of Viking Promotions. Rebecca, how are you keeping?
I am very well, and I want to thank all the Demartians for picking Donegal so I can finally live my dream of travelling to Donegal. It turns out I was there as a teenager. My mom tells me about that. I have no recollection whatsoever. Outside of that, I've never been. So
Wow.
anyone I've met in this moment in time is brand new to me. So I've known a few bands from Donegal and then accidentally just ended up with a beautiful Donegal family that are just amazing people, and I call them the Donegal Massive.
Well, that's amazing. I didn't actually know you were never in Donegal. That's news to me. That's interesting. And,
Yeah.
and 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 how was it? Like, how was your research for Donegal? Was it? Did you find anything sort of any kind of misconceptions or anything like that? Or did you uncover any kind of secrets that you weren't kind of sure about? Or
Well, obviously, I always thought there was something in the water. That's what I always say to the Donegal Massive. I'd like you to send me a bottle of water from your well because there's obviously very, very steep magic in what's going up there. You know what I mean? You've got the likes of, like, the chief, Clannad, and so many people that are from Donegal. There's always something so kind of mystical and beautiful about it. I'm really lucky as well because Nigel sent me everything I needed to know about Donegal. He's basically Letterkenny's Becca. That's what I
wow,
call him. And he's just so helpful and lovely. I also obviously had help from Old Air, who made the transmission postcards for us.
fantastic, amazing. Okay, so I'm gonna load in. I just realized I made a little boo boo and forgot to load in your Donegal video, so this is why I stalled a little bit there. So
That's
let's
okay.
let's load you in because you're starting off first. So we got Ashley Mobaster saying Nigel's a good man. So there you go for confirmation. Let's see if this works. Let me try this. Oh, it's covering you up. So let me just fix this.
It's okay. I was actually on an interview with Ash earlier this week. He was in Tuath, obviously, and I interviewed Tuath today, which is kind of a Donegal band
Oh,
as
very
well.
good. Okay, awesome. So Rebecca, you are ready to rock and roll. So take it away.
I am ready to rock and roll. So, obviously, as I mentioned, Donegal is incredibly special to me and it's steeped with magic. I've always had this incredible feeling that I need to go there, I need to be there. I was there with my parents as a teenager, can't remember it. Bands of note from Donegal. We'll have to start with Enya and Moya Brennan, Clannad, Rory Gallagher, all those incredibly big, big names. So obviously the Rory Gallagher Festival is a big deal in Donegal and should be mentioned. With regards to bands that would be a bit more niche or artists that would be a bit more niche and underground for now, because they're all kind of rising stars, we've got In Their Thousands, Mark Black, John Gallagher and Boxty, Blackbird and Crow, obviously. Without Willow, Shauna McDade. I hear incredible things about Shauna McDade. Everyone was actually like future Shauna McDade. Kessler Effect, Nigel Hegarty's band. So he's the guy who helped me compile all the information about Donegal. And we featured them as one of the reviews when we were doing reviews. We have Fierce Pit Bros. We have Delta Fuse, Happy Out, two of who I interviewed today, Lunch Machine, Rosie Carney, Eve Bell, who is who I've decided to pick from Donegal because I worked with her in Cypress Avenue and her stream was just incredible. Little Hours, Great White Lies, Dog Mandu, Shemin Daly, who was just incredible as well, Dean Maywood, Sheer Buzz, Owlboy, Stolen Relic, Joel Harkin, and the Poxmen. So the Poxmen are also a really, really interesting band. Blackbird and Crow would have recommended them back when I was talking with them. So the thing with Donegal is there's just so much going on there. The thing that is missing from Donegal is smaller venues, kind of little venues where you have just the smaller venues. There's a lot of big, big venues, so it just makes that a little bit different about Donegal. So you have oh, sorry. As Nigel said, you're just tipping the iceberg with Donegal here because there's just so much to say. So they're largely spoiled, but they are missing the little crappy venues, I was trying to say. McGregor's of Clodagh is a very famous venue in Inishowen, tucked away in a tiny village of Clodagh. It's hosted some of the biggest names in its 200 capacity back room, such as Peter Green, Saw Doctors, Damien Dempsey, Arlo Guthrie, and many other big names have played there. It's an incredible venue with incredible sound and lovely pints. I like to hear about the pint rating in venues. We have the Anne Gregan Theatre in Letterkenny. It's a 400-seater theatre, and it has hosted cracking acts over the years, regular tour stop for comedians on Irish tours. Then directly behind that theatre, there is the Regional Culture Centre. It's an arts experience in there, a gallery space, a hall of community use, and a kick-ass theatre space with 150 retractable seats, leaving standing room for about 250, which is fascinating as well. So, like I said, there's just so many venues that are up there that they're just talking about, and I'm just even tipping the iceberg here, and my Google Doc closed, so this is just me going and stalling. So we're there. Number 58 is an upstairs music venue above Central Bar in the middle of Letterkenny. It hosts Disturbance. So Disturbance is one of Nigel Hegarty's babies. He's a co-founder of it, and they have a 250 capacity as well, but a low roof and a narrow venue and nooks and crannies. It makes it all the more otherworldly when you get there, and unorthodox and loud. Then you have Swilly Inn. It's a pub on the outer skirts of Letterkenny, not a venue by the traditional sense, but doubles as one whenever required. It's a raised platform stage area, multiple exits and entrances, and it hosts about 70 to 80 people, which is interesting. Lots of EP launches take place there, metal shows. Then Ballyboffey is a small town with a population of 5,000, but it hosts one of the finest music venues in the northwest of Ireland, Ballor Arts Centre. Described to me by one of the lads as a book brass as a small version of Vicar Street. It has a 300 capacity and also is very, very well received by everyone in the region. Leo's Tavern in Cronley in Donegal is in the Gaeltacht and is a pilgrimage for many traditional music fans. So that's where you would go if you're looking for your trad in Donegal. Many venues have come and gone over the years. The Plaza in Buncrana sadly burnt down in a fire a couple of years ago. It played a host of some of the biggest shows in that area in many years. In terms of festivals, we're spoilt but lacking all at the same time. So the Sea Sessions is obviously a big one, and it happens in Bundoran. It's becoming one of the biggest Irish festivals. Then we had Swellfest, but that's unfortunately after disappearing. Then Disturbance Festival started in 2019. It's a 2-day festival in number 58, the venue that I talked about above. And that is pretty much Donegal in a short format for all to see. Yeah, so as I said, I picked Eva Bell, and the reason for that is obviously I've worked with her and I think she's one of the most kind of promising up-and-coming artists from Donegal at the moment. So that is that one.
Hey baby, since you came around, it's been feeling like a different town. I've been feeling like a different girl. It's been looking like a different world. Hey boy, look what you started. Long hair and your Doc Martens. Oh damn it all to hell again, hell again. I think that I just fell again, fell again. Hey boy, wait till you see my next trick. Hair up with my red lipstick. Go damn it all to hell again, hell again. I think that I just fell again, fell again. Go damn it all to hell again, hell again. I think that I just fell again for all you. Hey baby, since we kissed last night, every single step I take feels light. Hey baby, since you took me home, I ain't been feeling so alone. Hey boy, look what you started. Dark eyes and Doc Martens. Oh damn it all to hell again, hell again. I think that I just fell again, fell again. Hey boy, wait till you see my next trick. You know you love it when I talk all cryptic. Go damn it all to hell again, hell again. I think that I just fell again for all you. Hey baby, since we fell in love, forever don't feel like enough. Hey, baby, could you hold my hand? 'Cause I'm struggling to understand. This isn't for the faint-hearted. Oh, damn it, on the hill again, hill again. I think that I just fell again, fell again. Oh, damn it, on the hill again, hill again. I think that I just fell again, but oh, yeah. Oh, oh,
Okay, everybody, that was Donegal, and thank you so much, Rebecca, for giving us an insight into that fantastic county. I know you love that county so much musically, so really delighted that you got to do that one. So yeah, guys, a local 32. We also have our a second county, which is County Cork, was chosen this week. So once again, guys, thanks so much for hopping into that Demartian community group on our Facebook page, and you're all welcome to join that. The link is in the description there on the YouTube page. So if you want to take part in stuff like deciding what county we're going to cover next and loads of other stuff, be part of our meme reviews and be part of the conversation and debates as well that we sometimes throw in there, and be the first to know about new content coming out, I recommend you join that Demartian community group. So without further ado, tell us a little bit about Cork. So Cork is, by the way, I'm learning a lot here. I some of this stuff, I forgot from my geography, but definitely learned a lot from here, from just looking at these counties and researching. So it's the biggest county in Ireland and has the third largest city with over 1,000 kilometers of coastline. It's a holiday destination for many across Ireland. Its capital, Cork, is known for Finbarr's Cathedral, a neo-Gothic structure with tall spires and stained glass windows. Across the River Lee is the castle-like Cork City Gael, built in the 19th century. Northwest of Cork is the 15th century Blarney Castle, which we all know, of course, is home to the Blarney Stone. And that's where you can get your gift of the gab, or eloquence, for those who'll give it a little kiss. So maybe it's a good time to go there now during Valentine's Day and give it a nice little kiss. But yeah, that's Cork in a nutshell. Let's delve into the artists of Cork. So, home to Rory Gallagher. So, you got your Rory Fest up in Rebecca mentioned. So he was born in Donegal, but then he ended up moving down to Cork, which was a nice coincidence that we end up covering these two counties where a legend dwelled. Of course, he is not the only artist to have stayed in Cork. We have Sean O'Hagan from the avant pop High Llamas, which was founded in 1992. We have Cathal Coughlan, who wrote and sang for Micro Disney and the Fatima Mansions, two bands that don't exist anymore, but received critical acclaim. We also have Jimmy Crowley, who is an Irish folk musician, and more recent artists such as Wife, solo project of singer-songwriter James Kelly, formerly known as Alter Plagues, a project which toured the States and played in numerous countries such as Japan and Spain. It's also home to Jerry Ahern, who we had for the Transmission TV launch party there for New Year's Eve. I had to give him a shout out. We released his video, by the way. That's available on our Transmission TV YouTube channel, which you can all check out. It's in our About section on this page. A fantastic band who came up all the way to Dublin on New Year's Eve and performed for us. And he's been playing for music for many years from a very young age. A magnificent selection of modern artists to mention are Mick Flannery, Brian Deedy, Shukra, The Burma, Christina Underwood, who was Chicago born and based in Cork. We have Jack O'Rourke, The Last Vinci, Claire Sands, Paradox, who are a grunge band, Happy Alone, many more, guys. This list is massive. Some great notable venues, and of course, you know, the first ones that pop out are the big ones: Cork Opera House and the Marquee, which I will touch on, but Cypress Avenue, which Rebecca Cappuccini actually worked on, and they did a series of live streams in December, and they featured artists, some which I've mentioned already: Brian Deedy, Paddy Hanna, Emo, Moncrief, Tony Cantwell, Dahi, Gavin James, Eve Bell, which was the chosen song by Rebecca there for Donegal, Wild Youth, Gerald Ahern, of course, and many more. They did some great events over that time, and are still releasing footage from that, so absolutely fantastic. The Crane Lane Theatre, which hosted a variety of artists such as Jerry Fish, Key West, Neville Staple from The Specials, Picture This, and loads of jazz and DJs. And actually, Cork is absolutely covered in jazz music, which is unbelievable, and we'll delve into a little bit of that when we look at the festivals. Some other notable bars is Gallagher's Pub, the Venue at Hanover Quarter, Live at St. Luke's, Wintrip Avenue, Charlie's Bar, and of course, the Marquee. Cork Opera House, which inception was in 1852 and had artists such as 10cc. We're meant to have actually 10cc last year, and Jimmy Carr and Foil Arms and Hogs were meant to be performing last year, and obviously that didn't work out. So they still have gigs potentially for this year, but of course it's very difficult to know what will come out of it. Cork Opera House is a non-profit PLC with charitable status, which is an interesting fact. The Cork City Council is the largest shareholder. So there you go. So festivals, let's delve into what's going on normally in Cork when we're not all locked in our gaffs. So the Midsummer Festival offers an array of dance music and theatre treats each summer in Cork City. Cork Choral Festival is a world-class festival celebrating the very best of choral and vocal music at the start of May every year. The programme includes prestigious international and national competitions, gala and fringe concerts, public performances, and an education programme. The Cork Folk Festival is one of Ireland's oldest festivals of traditional folk music and has taken place annually every September. Put together from year to year purely on a voluntary basis by a dedicated group of enthusiasts, sometimes with the help of major sponsorships, often by a combination of various sponsors and supporters. The Cork Jazz Festival, a huge one, is being held in the month of October for the last 40 years. It sets Cork alight with the sounds of jazz echoing through Cork City Centre. Follow the jazz trail to the many venues across Cork City, from the Gresham Metropole Hotel to the Imperial Hotel, Moran Silver Springs Hotel, and loads more. Cork Jazz is a wonderful weekend to be enjoyed by some great names of the jazz scene. Cork Live at the Marquee, organised by Aiken Promotions. We know them very well, and has played a host to a number of great acts such as Diana Ross, Lionel Richie, Gypsy Kings, Tracy Chapman, Shane Ward, Westlife, The Prodigy, Bell X1, Josh Ritterer, Lady Gaga, just a ridiculous amount of fantastic artists have played there. And the first season of this was actually in 2005. And it was during when Cork was European Capital of Culture. It proved successful enough to be repeated annually. And the location has changed every once in a while, so they had a change. I think they were originally in, for the first 2 years, were in the showgrounds, and then the ownership changed and things moved on. So it still kept going. Obviously, they had to cancel last year and this year, but absolutely amazing. We also have, some other notable festivals would be the Ballydehub. Am I saying that right now? But it's a jazz festival, go figure, and that's in April, May. We've also got the Bandon Music Festival, which is in June, and the Kinsale Fringe Jazz Festival in October. So loads of jazz. So on a good year, go to jazz for your Cork. Go to Cork for your jazz, more like it, and you won't be disappointed from what I'm checking out here. So that's definitely on my agenda once this place opens up, once this world opens up for us all. So the band I chose, it's always difficult. Rebecca will say the same. It's very difficult to choose one artist to represent the whole county. Let alone a city, let alone so it's very difficult. But the band I wanted to choose and I went for in the end was Shukra. Now Shukra, I came across them, I think it was about Transmission Festival time, and we were looking for interesting acts to bring on, and Shukra popped into I don't know where they came from, but they popped into my radar. And then I found out today that they're actually from Cork, which is amazing. So a little bit about Shukra. They're a 5-piece outfit based in Cork. They have to be based in Cork because I'm talking about them. Serving fresh helpings of synth grooves, interruptive hooks, and dystopian romance-themed songs. So there you go. That's fitting into your Valentine's weekend, guys. Their sound sits somewhere between neo-soul and emerging schools of R&B soul that define themselves as future soul, which I love. I love redefining genres. Influences include the likes of Hiatus Coyote, Solange, Thundercat, Anderson .Paak, and the Internet. I don't know if that's a band, but it should be a band if it's not. Advancing from accolade to accolade, they won some great awards. Best Irish Band of 2017, 50 People to Watch in 2018 by the Irish Times. Shukra are positioning themselves as important pioneers in the what was, I suppose, blossoming urban music scene, and I hope it's still blossoming after all this. I mean, the music is blossoming. People are still blossoming here, so just because we don't have gigs. But yeah, check this out. This song is called Notions, and it was released back in 2019, end of 2019. I hope, Shukra, you guys are all good and safe out there. I definitely am going to give you a shout out because I'm very interested in getting in touch. Guys, get a load of this.